So welcome to Android Coliseum Hangout Show number 125. Buck and a quarter. We're still around. We're still kicking. We're having a little bit of issues with the lower thirds today. I have now got the Savant disease where it just turns it off. But we are here.
Mine's off.
It is stinky hot lately. How about you guys? What do you say?
Yep, definitely.
Well, you're in the belt. You crazy. And Sylvain, you've got no mountain coverage where you are to even keep any wind off you guys. Is it still hot out in the plains?
No, it's not really.
No?
44, I see from a thing on OS, it's like between 20 and 25.
Whew, that'd be nice.
I have two ACs and they can't keep up. Right now with the two ACs, the temperature is still at about 26 in here.
Oh,
but it is warm in my heart.
I bet it is.
Is that the typical Canadian answer? It's cold hands, warm heart. Right. And Savant, how is Montreal? La Belle Province?
It was about 31 degrees today, very hot, sunny and humid and really not fun.
Je suis fatigué.
I was actually starting to think about snow.
Oh, wow.
Suddenly I want to go snowshoeing.
Yeah, it always appears in my social streams after a while, and it gets this hot for a while. Everybody's like, just in case you want a little refresher, and they'll show how our cars were covered in snow, and if you want to complain, just remember that. But anyways,
Yeah,
so
that would do it.
as we are the Canadians, we do love our extreme temperatures from one extreme to the next. But we also love our Android devices, and that's what we're here to talk about today, talking about Android and how it affects the Canadian markets and how it affects our Canadian users like ourselves. So let's go over some of the news that we've seen this past week, and what a week it's been. It's been quite crazy the past few days. I mean, just since Monday, we've had a lot of news to go over, and I think we're going to just really tighten it up a little bit just about some of the news that are going to be really, really tight about. I'm going to jump gears right now and just first talk about the Uber hit with the $400 million class action lawsuit. That's just in Toronto, or is it all across Ontario?
From what I understand, it's all across Ontario. I mean, it's in Ontario specifically. Uber's just been hit with a $400 million class action lawsuit by all the registered taxi drivers, limousine service, and whatnot, and all these type of services. So right now, if they're successful, it's going to set a precedent, and there's already a precedent that exists over in the UK and in Europe.
Yeah.
And if they're successful, it's going to force Uber to license all their drivers, and all the drivers will become operators within the company. So Uber will actually have to pay them. They'll become employees. They'll have to give out benefits, which means if they actually go through with that and go up with that, all the prices for everybody are going to go up. So that cheap ride that you're having, forget about it. It's going to disappear.
I don't like that idea. I mean, I'm not a Uber user. I don't really use Uber when I go down to Toronto or anything like that. I like to walk around or take the transit if I can. I get the appeal, but it's funny because remember when in France when they were talking about Uber and they were talking about and I think it was their Minister of Transport that came out and said, listen, this is the reason why we have to really regulate Uber is because you don't know who you're getting in a cab with, you don't know what you're paying for. So it's a protection thing for them, and that I start to understand a little bit. But this class action lawsuit, I don't get why they're going after a lawsuit. Let's just if they're going to go try to regulate them, go through the courts to regulate them. Go through the Supreme Court of Canada or something like that to regulate it. Don't have to go through a class action lawsuit and try to bankrupt this poor company, right? But comment, Martin?
Yep. I mean, the only way you're going to be able to force a company is to sue them.
Hit them where it hurts, right?
Yep,
That doesn't make sense. I don't know. We'll see.
I that's what I would do. Hit them in the balls. There you go. Done.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Okay, so let's talk about. I'm just gonna skip around here a few things. I'm gonna go down to the LG introduces the Gentle Android flip phone. And now this is something actually I think there's a lot of people I know who would actually go for this. That probably don't need a full-on smartphone. They just want a phone and texting box. That's the common term I keep hearing. I want a texting box. You ever got one of those texting boxes? So a flip phone might be just about the right thing for them. So when you look at this LG Gentle, now it's only going to be released in Korea. I mean, most likely that's all the place it's going to be. But it's pretty cool. A little flip phone, nice little screen on top, got a nice looking leather back. Anybody of you guys interested in something like that, or know somebody that you could probably say you need that? Don't bother getting any other device.
No, not really.
I don't know why they would still think about doing flip phones.
It's a
Like,
trend that's happened.
I think about my father-in-law. Like, there's no way he needs a smartphone, right? But at the same time, I think he wants to have something. Again, I would think but I mean, if it's like $180, it looks like it'd be the equivalent of. So, like, maybe
Still a
for
lot.
still $20 more, you might be able to pick up the Moto G or something. That might be worth it. So, but for a lot of people, they don't want to touch phones. They want a dial or whatever, right? That's what they know. If I touch numbers, it dials a phone for me.
Retro.
Like, I couldn't believe the number of people that I used to see at the store last year when I worked there that would ask me questions, stuff like, okay, so to dial, do I have to hit the dial button and then wait for the dial tone and then punch my number? Because they're used to picking up the phone, wait to hear the dial tone, and then dial. Even on the cordless phone, right? So, which even a cordless phone is pretty ancient tech, but still, I guess that's what people are looking for.
So that phone, Ryan, is there a touch screen on it?
I believe it was
Or is it
touchscreen on
just the
top.
screen?
Yeah, so the top screen is a 3.2-inch touch-enabled display. It's 480 by 320, so nothing great, nothing super fantastic. Think of like a first-generation Android device. But 1.1 gigahertz processor, 1 gig of RAM, 4 gig of internal. So, I mean, it should be more than enough for somebody just to do basic stuff on it.
One advantage I can see is that if you drop your phone, probably the screen won't break.
Yeah, it's closed up, right? That's one of the nice things. Anyways. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. So starting, was it Monday night? Yeah, Monday night, we had the launch event for the OnePlus 2. So I know Martin, Sylvain, and I, we sat down here basically, and we watched the OnePlus 2 event together, and we talked about what we saw. And it was a little bit of a trouble because the only way you could watch this launch event was through their special app. And you could watch the special app, which gave you in virtual reality the goings on. And it was kind of neat how they switched between different cameras and they would move different areas. And it was really cool. And now you can watch it online on their YouTube channel and 360. So if you have cardboard, you can still watch it, or you can move around. Because I think that was the biggest pain I kept saying was trying to watch the show and going, oh, he moved, trying to move around like this because I didn't have cardboard. I had to keep moving around.
Yep.
So if I could, like you do on YouTube 360, you could just use your hand and sort of remove it around. But that's, especially when they started doing the codes, every time they switched cameras, it was like, oh, gotta find the new code, oh, let's gotta get around and do this. So I really stopped listening to what they were talking about and trying to get this new code. Stefan, comment?
With cardboard, I had to move also. I mean, you still had to actually move to that direction. I got a bit lazy in the middle, and I just stayed where I was and only listened because they went like all the way 180 degrees to the back. And but it was cool. It was very unique, I have to say.
Yeah, it was one of those things you could start seeing, wow, there's a lot of things you could do with like a launch event that's like this. Sylvain, you had a comment?
Yes. Was the event actually live? I don't think so.
No.
Wasn't it?
I must imagine there must have been some sort of delay or something, just because the way that they did like the pop-ups and the names, there'd be displays of the specs that would come up on the wall. There must have been a delay to it or something, or not live. Because I know you were saying, Sylvain, that you had issues. So when Martin and I were listening to it, I turned the volume way up so people could listen to it as I was going through. And you were like, I'm nowhere near that point. And I think Martin and I were even off at a fair bit at a certain point. So it mustn't have been live, like, so.
I'd say it had about a 30 seconds delay.
Yeah, so I think you and I were off by a little bit, but Martin or Sylvain, you and I were off by a fair bit. You were saying.
Oh yeah, I couldn't follow. I had to quit the Hangout because of that. I was hearing yours and mine. And also
Yeah.
I wanted to say something about, when you turn around 180, what
Yeah.
you could do is I ended up watching it on my couch. I was just taking my phone and going like this, flip it over,
Yeah.
and then you see behind.
I figured that out after a while. I was like, wait a minute, if I just flip it around, and I'm now looking the opposite way, so I would have to go this way.
That's a good
And if
trick.
instead of going all the way around, I'd go, okay, flip it around, it would go, and then the other way, and then it just did the same. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But I thought I was acting pretty quickly on those codes, but apparently not as quickly because every one of those codes we listed out, we missed out on. But anyways, let's take a look at the highlights of what we found out about the OnePlus 2. So we know it was going to be a 1080p, 5.5-inch screen, the Snapdragon 810 V2, 4 gigs of RAM. The 13 megapixel camera I think was news to us, but the fact that it had the optical image stabilization and laser focus was new, which again I think they adapt. Something that's working really well for LG. They've adapted that. Coming with the front touch button. For the fingerprint scanner. Now, I don't know that they say if it actually would act as a button or is it just the scanner only. I kind of
It's also as a home button, but it's also the fingerprint, and you can't press on it. It's just like a track mouse, a trackpad on your laptop. Yeah, you can't press on it.
It's an actual home button that you press. Oh, okay, gotcha. So that was okay. At least, it's one of those things. Like if it's there, make it work. Anyways. But one thing they did say about the fingerprint scanner was that it would act faster and be more secure than the iPhone 6 one. So I'm interested to see how well that works. I mean, I've tried all the Galaxy devices that have the fingerprint scanner, and I've never really been that satisfied with them. So I'm interested to see maybe how this one might work. Maybe I might pick it up. I don't know.
I've seen demos of it, and it's really fast. You put your finger on it, man, open.
Okay. Martin, your thoughts?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what the security researchers are going to say about the fingerprint scanner.
Yeah.
See if they find something fishy like they did with the iPhone.
But with the iPhone one, everything's only encoded on device and not sent elsewhere. Oh, actually, no.
Cloud.
Since the new iOS.
And it was also open with no encryption.
Okay. Sivan, you had a comment?
I have the fingerprint reader on the 0.3s, and it's very fast.
Yeah.
And I really like it a lot. I would guess that it's similar technology.
Yeah, since the two are sort of related companies, right? So there must be something that they're sharing across the board there. Back to the camera, one of the things, it is a slightly bigger pixel. It's a 1.3 micron pixel than a 1.1 that typically have out there. Not as big as an ultra pixel, which is 2 microns. But they're going slightly larger pixels so that it can get more light. What else was there? It was interesting to see the hardware switch for the mute that would follow lollipops all priority or none. So that'd be kind of cool. But a question was raised: if we do that, what if I put it into priority mode, but then I go into software and I try to put it to all? Does the hardware override that and I have to do the switch in there? Or
And that was answered is, since they're doing it via hardware, you won't be able to toggle them via software.
Okay.
Just like the iPhone.
Okay. That's interesting. And then the USB Type-C. We knew this was coming. Very cool. Reversible USB Type-C. Plus, they have a patent on their USB Type-A end, which is reversible as well, too. So no longer having to go, okay, plug it into my computer. Oh, wrong way. No. Oh, wrong. Right? It's always 3 tries to get it in. So this
like that. I want to get just a cable just because of that.
And they announced today it was going to be for like $5.
I know.
So you're like, $5, I'll order it, and then you can get the adapter for micro or USB Type-C to micro USB and have it, and therefore you have a Type-C already for anything else that comes along. So.
Yeah, it's too bad the cable, the way it's done, it's flat. You can't bend it sideways, so you're kind of limited on how you can put your phone unless you want to fiddle with it.
It's straight up directly on top of your mouse or your computer or wherever your charger is, right?
That's right. Yeah.
You can kind of twist it a little bit, maybe. So we watched the show. At the end of the show, they said, okay, it'll be available August 11th. They announced there's going to be some pop-up kiosks going through a couple store or hotspots, 9 cities across the world that they'll try to do. We might be able to get some invites potentially from it, as well as play with the phone, which is, I think, one of their biggest issues. People were saying, I'm not sure if I want to take a chance on a phone I've never touched, right? So they're going to have that option. And then just before they announced the price, the power went out. Ooh. There's a punch in the nuts kind of ending. Like, I thought it was a lame thing, but no, they actually then cut the feed, and I was upset about that. And then they had to wait an hour until it was done, and then they announced the prices, which we heard. Now they said $329, $389 for the American prices, but then they also listed a line for Canadian at $410 and $480, which is actually slightly better than the exchange rate right now.
Correct.
I don't know if they came up with those prices before the dollar started to drop, which is pretty good. Now, if they're specifically giving us Canadian prices, does this mean they have a Canadian distributor? And we may not have to worry about DHL?
I don't know. I tried the currency converter, and it was $4.79, or almost the same thing as they were advertising. And I remember that when you use your credit card to buy US, you also pay the fee from Visa or MasterCard. Which is usually
a small fee. Well, it depends. Sometimes instead of they'll give you like just added on top of that exchange rate. Now I don't see a separate line fee, but it depends.
Yeah,
so I mean, so it'd be interesting to see what comes out of it. Again, we'll just have to wait till August 11th, so we have a little under 2 weeks to go to figure that out.
Yeah, because I mean, the price is $409 Canadian right now for the base model, and with the current exchange rate, it's almost the same.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna go for a phone, I mean, pay the $70 more and get the 64 gig. It's just
absolutely,
16,
and you get one more gig.
Oh, that's right. It's 1 more gig RAM. Yeah, so might as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move along here. So that was the OnePlus 2, and then the next day we actually had Motorola launch their event, the "We're in love with her in a relationship with our phone" event. And basically released a couple devices. Well, they talked about 3 devices. And it was weird because I was in a meeting and I missed them talk all about the Moto X Style. So I got there just as they started talking about the Moto X Play, or they're recapping the Moto X Play. I was able to write down all the specs. And then they talked about the Moto G 2015. And so I was like, great, well, what about the Style? And I got my media release from my Motorola contacts, and they were just only talking about the Moto G and the Moto X Play. And that's when we find out that the Moto X Style is not coming to Canada at all, nor is that Moto X Pure Edition, as they call it. So we're only going to be getting the Moto G, which you're saying $230. Who wrote $230 for that? Because I remember it saying $200.
It got confirmed on Mobile Syrup. They got the price list.
Okay, that must be by the carrier because I think they listed in their email $200 to me.
Yeah, it's $230 from the carrier, and no term contract for no term contract, and $0 if you go on a 2-year contract.
Okay, so that must be a specific carrier, but I mean, the MSRP that I think Moto's setting is supposed to be $200 on that one. Now, they haven't set a price on the Moto X Play, but they said it's about $300 to $400 less than a standard flagship. So we're looking at probably the $400 price. Sivan, did you have a comment there?
It's weird that they made 2 models, one for the US and a different one for other countries, instead of choosing just one model and changing the frequencies, etc., making an international one and a US one. It seems strange. I don't know, it probably raises the cost to make 2 different phones, different size of battery, different cameras. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it seemed kind of weird, and then not to have them come. Because, for example, in Canada, we'll get the Play. The States is only going to get the Style, but it's the same thing. They're not going to get the Play edition.
Right.
Which
has a bigger battery.
I don't know. That was because I'm talking to a few people who were excited about that because we've always missed out on the Droid Max, which always had that huge battery, the rapid charger that came out. We missed out on that, but this year we're getting that, and they're getting the other one. So And it's weird whether not only would they make two different versions, but then say, well, you guys get this one and you guys get this one.
But if I
Somebody needs.
understand correctly, theirs will have a faster charge.
Yeah, one's turbo charge and one's turbo power or something, I think.
Yeah,
Is the
and
terminology.
the one for the US, the style, apparently will charge in 15 minutes.
Yeah. I thought it was 8 hours. It would give you 8 hours of usage in 15 minutes or something like that, yeah. Martin, you had a comment?
Yeah, I mean, their marketing team need to talk to each other. Seriously, because this sucks.
Yeah. When you separate it like that, it just doesn't make sense. But still, pretty cool. I mean, what bugged me was really kind of weird is that the Moto G is the only one that has the waterproofing technology.
Yeah,
Or
IPX7.
IPX7, right? So you can drop it in water for up to. It's not dust proof. That's why it has the X, but it does have the water resistant technology. You can just drop it in water for up to 30 minutes. So kind of neat, but like, why don't you just put it on all of them? Like, really, all it really is they've sealed the back up and put little rubber doohickeys around the case. So, and maybe just they don't bother to put a case on the other ones. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, so that was a pretty exciting week. And then to top it off this week, we're also going to get Windows 10. Woohoo! I think there's another piece of news that was coming out this week too, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, and we heard officially the Samsung event is coming in. And let's double check that date. When is the Samsung event? Next
The
Galaxy?
S6+. Is it?
Yes, X Plus is coming. Can't remember what the date was now on my top of my head. August 13th. So a couple days after the OnePlus is ready for sale, you'll get to see them talk about the potential of the Note 5, the S6 Edge Plus, or is it S6 Plus Edge? I can't remember how they name these things.
And I keep hearing about the Nexus 5 edition 2015.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. That should be coming probably later, maybe later August, September, because it's usually October-ish when you get them, right? Remember the Nexus 5 came out October 31st. The Nexus 6 came out, I think, a little bit earlier than that. So we should be hearing some news about that. I mean, that's a whole other topic we can get into, talking about there's potentially two Nexus devices. The new Huawei built one, which is based off, I think, the P8 that they were talking about, or it could be the LG Nexus 5 2015 edition. So will it be similar to the LG G4, or would it be just like the 20 Nexus 5, just slightly revamped in specs? So that's
Yeah, we
all
never
still
know.
rumors.
Last year we thought that they were going to get two releases for the Nexus.
Yeah, so you never know what's going to happen. Okay, so that's a lot of information to go through today, and to be honest, we've already talked a lot about them on the website, so you can really view them there. We all have our varied opinions on what's going on, but again, we'd love to hear your thoughts on what these people are, what's happening with the phones these days. Is he changing your buying decisions, purchases because of these new devices? Well, we want to go into a little bit of a public service announcement here to talk about something that came out. And normally when I hear these kind of, oh, it's a threat, better be careful, I always think of it's got to be fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's got to be some sort of scary thing. But actually, this one might have some teeth to the rumor or the situation. So, Martin, you want to talk about stage fright?
Yeah, definitely. Stage fright is not something to be taken lightly. Like a lot of people were thinking it was maybe only affecting Hangout and such, but it actually affects any messaging app that you may be using on whatever device. It's a system-level exploit, so it doesn't matter which app you're going to be using, but if you receive an MMS that's compromised, it automatically executes the code and you get infected. The best defense at this time right now is to disable the automatic download of MMS content. And as of now, Google has already stated they're going to be releasing a patch for the Nexus 6. Cyanogen has already included this patch fix at the beginning of July. And as far as I can tell you right now, I haven't heard or seen any other news about any other OEM or any carrier pushing patches out for fixing this issue at this time.
I think the article you linked to didn't have updated comments from Google, from Samsung, from HTC, I think AT&T made a comment saying we are working on this, so we're going to work with our OEM providers to make sure that they can get a patch for this available. One thing they're talking about is making sure that whoever you're on, you're getting the latest updates. But like you said, the best way to sort of defend against this is just to make sure that you have auto retrieve MMS turned off.
Yep.
So that what would happen then is, so if somebody sends you a picture or a video message on whatever messaging app you're using, and personally I thought when I first read it, it only affected Hangouts, but no, it's affecting other than. I heard a little rumored that potentially a third-party messaging app might make it a little more difficult to do this, but still, you go in and you turn off that auto retrieve, the MMS download, so that way you're saved a little bit of headache. So if somebody comes and sends you a picture and you don't know who they are, you just delete it. Don't listen, don't download it. So that's our little public service announcement. And then something that we've been having, those of us with the Android Wear devices, we've been hoping for a long time, and we haven't really ever had an opportunity to receive. Just came out the other day, and it didn't really come out just for Android Wear. It came out for OK Google. Siobhan, you wanted to talk about that?
Yes, I read the other day that now with OK Google you can start WhatsApp messages and few other apps. We already had Hangouts. Now it will be for WeChat, Telegram, Next Plus. I mainly use WhatsApp. No one mentioned Android Wear, but I figured I'll try, and I'm very, very excited that it actually works. So now you can start Hangout messages from the watch and WhatsApp as well, and probably the others, but I don't use them, so I couldn't test. The only thing is that you can't check your message before it sends. It sends it right away from the watch. But it's still cool that you can initiate it. You can just say hey and then wait for the reply. Then you can control what you write better. But it's very exciting because I was waiting for this since I got the watch. For me, it was a very important thing. So I'm happy it keeps evolving, and that the watch keeps updating and we get new features.
Now, what would be really cool that you can do this is if you can start actually, like for example, I'm in several dozen group Hangout messages. If I could say, okay, Google, send a message through Hangouts to this group. Like if you labeled it a specific group, like Thunder Bay Enlightened, or Android Coliseum folks, or the Canadian Androiders group, I could just send it to that group and say, okay, just to add my little bit to that conversation, because I could do it if it's a notification, but if it's not on my notifications, I have to go to the phone and do it.
Did you test it? Did you try?
No, I didn't try it yet, but I don't know how. I think right now it's just a matter of just use it with it to one single person. But I think that's the next step. It'd be really cool if they could do it to multiple people, or you could do it to that group that already exists. So, all right. So that's pretty much the news as we saw it this week. Is there anything you guys think we're missing here?
No, I think we've covered pretty much what happened for the week. Okay,
so other than that, guys, there's some reviews coming out. So, Martin, you've got a new little toy to start playing around with?
Yeah, the Charge Tech 2-port dual USB wall plug. It's the smallest in the world. 2.4 amp per port, 12 watts total, and it actually delivers what it actually says it does.
There you go. And I got my nice little Moto G from Motorola today to play around with, so I'll have a review up on that in the next little while. And I think once I'm finished the review, I think some lucky reader might be able to get this device off of me. So stay tuned, and we'll have some more news on the website for that. So by all means, we really love hearing your comments. Please, love to see you in the chat. We'd love to see you in comments on our Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, wherever you might be. Join us as well. Okay, so everyone want to say goodbye for the time being?
Right, take care, guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well, don't thank me. I hit the button to start it. You guys have the conversation.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks, Sylvain. 125 episodes ago, Sylvain kicked us in the arse to do this, so that's what it was.
That's right. 125 already. Crazy.
125. That's been a long time. All right, guys. We'll see you next week for another show. Ciao.
Cheers.
Yeah.